symbolic story telling you that when the people of a nation, the people of a city, when the people are given an opportunity to hear the truth and the light, or to hear a criminal, they will always take the criminal. Always, always have, are now, and always will. That's the nature of human creatures. People want to be lied to. They love the celebrity and the Holy Father and the Queen Mum and the princess and the princess and all that silly crap. They have been buying into that stuff for thousands of years, and kings and rulers, like Hitler said, thank God the people are so stupid. They'll buy into anything. And once in a while you get somebody who tries to wake you up and tell you none of these people are holy. The Pope isn't holy. There's nothing holy in Jerusalem. The only thing holy in Jerusalem are the stories that come out of it. They're full of holes. There's nothing holy in Jerusalem. There's nothing holy in Rome. And there's damn sure nothing. Yeah, and there's nothing holy in Salt Lake City. There is nothing.
You're right. I mean, there's no arguing with what you're saying.
There's nothing holy. We're talking about men. We're talking about people. It's a business. I mean, why do you think churches are divided into denominations? Like 10s and 20s and 50s. Come on.
I hadn't thought of it before, but it makes sense to me.
Well, it's just a business. I mean, that's why you got Captain Kirk on the good ship Enterprise. That's where the word church comes from. The word church is an English word that comes from the Scottish word Kirk. K-I-R-K. Could be K-E-R-K, but it's spelled K-I-R-K. Kirk in Scotland. If you're a Christian, Sunday morning you're going to Kirk. K-I-R-K. Kirk. Kirk is in English church. But in Scotland it's called Mother Kirk. Or in England, it's called Mother Church. Well, Kirk was brought to Scotland by the Masonic Order of Knights Templars when they came back from the Crusades. When they were in the Middle East, they learned a lot of the religion of the Islamic world and the Mediterranean world. And so when they came back into Europe, they brought some of those religious teachings with them. And one of the things that the Knights Templars, the Masonic Order of Knights Templars, learned was the religion of Circe, which is the ancient Greek goddess. She was known as Mother Circe, or Mother Circe. And so when they came back to Scotland, they brought the religion of Mother Circe, or Mother Circe, to the UK, to the United Kingdom. And so but in Scottish language, it was Mother Circe because Mother Kirk. And then, of course, in English, Mother Church. So today we have Christians all over the world going to church, going to Kirk, never realizing the whole damn thing comes from a Greek goddess, Mother Circe. And if you go back to ancient Greek mythology, you'll see that Mother Circe, the story of her, Mother Circe, was that she could hypnotize people with magic and bring them into her house and then close the door behind them and lock them in so that they could not get out, and then would take their brains and take their minds away so that they had no more brains, they had no more minds, and then she would feed off of them, eat them and feed off of them, and turn them into animals. Well, that's exactly what Mother Kirk and Mother Church has done. With magic, she brings in people all over the world magically. People just fall on their knees, they'll fall all over themselves with Billy Graham and TBN and all this other monstrosity of secret societies operating behind world thrones, to crawl on their knees to the Pope and to the Holy Father and to all of these incredible criminals. And once they're in the church then takes their brain, their mind, turns them into a vegetable, and then locks the door so they can't get out, and then feeds off of them. You know how much a church makes every 24 hours on this earth? How much TBN, those beer-drinking alcoholics that run TBN, you have no idea in the world what those people, the Crouches, are really like. I've talked to people who work with them. I mean, who these people who are running TBN are really like, not what you think they're like. Man, oh man.
Something like John Hagee, I believe.
Yeah, right. John Hagee and all these other goofballs are making millions by manipulating the masses. Well, that's what the Bible said was going to happen anyway. Says
isn't that something you have to go with, you don't preach the gospel for filthy lucre?
Yeah, well, if you don't, then you're not going anywhere because it takes that to pay your rent. And all of these television shows, how come TBN, well, you know, what a monstrosity. Anybody who is intelligent or you know, conservative, intelligent people watching TBN has to know that this is an incredible show. Dancing around the stage and big guys, the muscle guys, the brawn guys going out there and breaking sheets of ice with their head to impress the kiddies. You know, and they're showing all of these sports people and movie stars who are accepting the Lord Jesus. And what is the end result? At the end of the result, after 50 years of watching this stuff on television, talk to any Christian, they don't know from nothing about where a word comes from, what a symbol means, what the concept, where it originated. They have no knowledge of anything, where anything came from, what it means. Intellectually, they have no concept of how to research any words. They know zero, nothing. All they know is what they've been taught by the guy who breaks the ice with his head, or the preachers that jump around with their effeminate hairdos and wearing their Rolex watches. It's really a disgusting shame. And of course, my feeling is that if you believe that God is going to be your judge, you better start figuring out what you're going to say when you die. Because if you're going to go before God, I don't know if you are or not, but if that's what you believe, is that when you die you're going to go before God as a judge, then my suggestion is, if you're a Christian or a Jew, you might want to start thinking about what you're going to say to God when you find out you've been played for a fool. You better start figuring out how you're going to weasel out of this, like a 6-year-old that's been caught by his father, and he's got to figure out a way to blame it on somebody because he's been caught. And so when you die, you'll need to start thinking about how are you going to explain away your profound stupidity, that you bought into all this crap, and you bought it and you loved it, and now you're standing before God and find out that nothing you believed was true. Nothing that you had to do with God was anything spiritual. It was all man-made, financed by the same banks, manipulated by the same fraternal orders out of Europe. And you're crawling on your knees to the Pope or to Billy Graham or to TBN or any of this stuff has not bought you anything. Now that you're dead, you've got no options. You should have done your homework when you were alive. Now that you're dead before God, you've got no options. You look like a fool. So I'm just saying, if you're going to go before God as a judge, you better start doing some homework now, because you don't have it. When you think you've got the whole story, you don't have any of it. Of course, I've learned
what you have is a bunch of bull.
Oh, you got a bunch of imbeciles. I learned a long time ago the difficult lesson. My dad told me a long time ago, never try and teach a pig to sing. It'll waste your time and irritate the pig. And that's what I've been trying to do. Yeah. Why try and teach people education? Why try and educate people spiritually, intellectually? They don't want to hear it, for God's sake. They don't want to hear it. They got a church. They don't need you. They don't need to hear anything. But when you die, your ass is grasped, because on the other side, you're now going to be dealt with because of your stupidity. You say, well, you know, I got the whole truth. Well, I always say, well, I hope the hell you do have the whole truth. Because if we find out after you die that you didn't have any truth, well, I don't know what's going to happen to your spirit when you leave here, but I would suggest, if you really believe that you're going to live on after you die and going somewhere, which I tend to feel is probably true. I tend to think we probably do live on. But if that's true...
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, I think we do live on. I think that there's too many actual scientific reasons to believe in life after death. There's no doubt about it in my mind. But I'm saying whatever it is that you're going to face on the other side, it's not going to be the silly nonsense that we live with here. So you better start doing some homework.